All right, let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, we are celebrating 13 years of being in business. Hey, come on, clap it up. Hey, 13 years of serving the public. I'm going to dance a little bit. Get the prep. Get the prep. Get the prep. Get the prep. Come on, y'all. Celebrate with me. Hey. We thank you so much for joining us. It is truly going to be a party. This month of May, the month of May is March. The month of March is a very special month to True Blue Designs because it's our anniversary month. And this year we have been in business for 13 years. And I don't know if you remember last year, but the shows last year in the month of March were sponsored by the Greek comedy, the Greek comedy tour, whose founder is Christopher Columbus. Well, this year he has blessed us again. And for the next 3 weeks, we will have comedians on the show talking about their lives and their journeys to comedy. Please like and share and let everyone know that we're on the air. Let them know that True Blue Designs is here to educate, motivate, and inspire. Now, I'm going to also ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the notification bell so that you can be alerted when new content becomes available. Now, before I interview our guest tonight, I want to send out condolences to the Braxton family. Some of you know that Tracy Braxton passed away this week. And she was a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And I just want to take time out at the beginning of the show to send my condolences to her, to the Braxton family, and let them know that we are praying for them during this difficult time. Now, I'm going to introduce, you can tell I'm just so excited. I'm all over the place. I'm going to introduce tonight's guest. Tonight's guest is comedian Miss Nicole Blue. You can find her at Your Girl Blue. Let's see. Hold on. I got my information. Let's see. She is an up-and-coming comedian, and her in-your-face, fast-talking, edgy, witty Southern style has been captivating audiences from the Bay Area to the A. Nicole is a mother of two and a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, who believes she has never met a stranger. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to tonight's guest. Get ready to laugh. Get ready to party. Miss Nicole Blue. Let me get you on. Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good evening.
It's a party. It's a party.
What's up, Sarah? What's up?
Oh, thank you so much. Hey.
Okay, I hear you. Even though I done got a little deep over the years, I done got a little deep.
Look, I'm raspy too, so you're not
so long. I might have to yell out blue for you.
Look, I went to a probate not too long ago, right? And they yelled out in the probate, blue fire, and then they said, and then the new member said, I wish. It was blue fire, I wish. And I cried.
I wish. I heard that. I
was going to use that one.
Okay. I wish.
Yeah. Nicole, thank you so much for saying yes and allow me to interview you. It's been a while since I have seen you. And so much has happened in your life since I have seen you. And I said, you know what? This is the time to sit her down and get the world to know about Nicole. When we see comedians, we just assume that, not really that your life is a bed of roses, but it's just we assume that you're always happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
that's farthest from the truth because you're human.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Say that again for the people in the back.
You're human and you have a journey like everyone else, right?
Absolutely.
It's just that your gift is to make other people laugh and to bring
Absolutely.
laughter and enlightenment to other people. So we're going to start off the interview just letting you tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Nicole Blue, and yes, that is my last name. My daddy gave it to me. Okay.
Really?
I come from the family of blues. I even like to call my dad Papa Smurf, My family is from Miami. My parents are one of them relationships where they knew each other from like middle school, some crazy stuff. Like both sides of my family know each other, So they grew up in Miami, but they got married and went off. My dad went to the military when he was 17 and then took on touring the world. So I've lived so many places. I hate when people ask, where are you from? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm extraterrestrial. I'm from out of this world, Like, because
everywhere.
I'm from everywhere, But I do claim Atlanta,
All right.
I do claim the ATL because I went to high school here. That's what somebody told me. They said, well, where you went to high school at, that does count for something.
Okay.
I went to middle school and high school actually in Atlanta.
Okay.
I went to Jonesboro High School, grew up on the south side, you feel me?
All right.
Clayco out there in Jonesboro. I grew up on the south side, went to Jonesboro, I got three other siblings. I got a set of twin sisters and an older brother who's technically my twin. We're Irish twins. He's like 11 months and 26 days older than me. So every year for 26 days, we the same age. It's so weird. So he's like my fake twin. We call each other twins. So it's like my mama had two sets of twins.
Right.
But I got my three siblings, pretty much was raised here in Atlanta, went to West Georgia, University of West Georgia, you know what I'm saying? That's where I pledged the opulent and always on point Omicron new chapter,
Right, that's right.
But I've lived a lot of places, like I said, and a big part of my life, first 6 years or so of my life, I was in Germany. We lived in Virginia. I was born in South Carolina. And then even after going to school at West Georgia, I married somebody who was in the military. And then I started moving a couple places between here and California. And that's exactly how I got out to California, actually. My ex-husband got stationed in Alameda, and he was in the Coast Guard. And so we had moved out there in 2011, the second time. So a lot of people know me from being in the Bay. But I'm from the A. I'll be going up on doing shows here in Atlanta. And they be like, Nicole Blue from the Bay, from Oakland. I'm like, I'm from here. I'm from here. Yeah,
so we me and you have a lot in common.
How about it?
Because I'm a military brat. My dad was in the military, and
that's a fraternity sorority all by itself.
All by itself, yeah.
All
and
by
so
itself.
He did 2 tours in Germany, and I had 5 siblings, and all of us were born somewhere else. We had Alabama, Florida, 2 in Germany, different parts, and then I was born in Stockton, California.
Well, looky.
Yes, and my brother told me, I was too young to remember, but my brother told me that there's a video out there when Michael Jackson went and visited the elementary school in Stockton. That was the school that we attended. Yeah.
How about this?
Yeah.
My daughter went to Ruby Bridges Elementary in Alameda, and the 2 years she was there, Ruby Bridges herself greeted the family at the beginning of every year, just telling them have a great year. And I just like that itself started a conversation with them, because I was like, if Ruby Bridges is here at the school today, segregation really wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Like, come on, this woman is only in her 60s. She's only like 67.
Right.
Like, That this wasn't too long ago where she over there trying to integrate the school system.
Yep. And you're right. You know, to some kids, they think that it's a history book, right? And that's all they think. It's just something in a book.
Yeah.
But the history,
we're living it.
There you go.
We're making it.
We're living it. Yeah.
We're making it. We're creating it.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. So we got a lot in common. See, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, because I moved to West Georgia from 85 to 88.
Okay.
Yeah. And then life takes over. And then I ended up finishing my degree at the University of Phoenix in 2013.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And then, you know, I look at the way that you spell True Blue and how you remove the E. Let me tell you how much that aggravates me. Tina. Because so many people, for whatever reason, when I tell them my name is Nicole Blue, they automatically want to shorten it or make it funky or say blue like blue cheese. And I was like, no, just like the color. And they'll still leave the E off or something weird. And I'd be like, what's so hard about BLUE? Like, why did you do that, Tina?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. At first, when I had True Blue Greek Designs, the blue did have an E. And then people thought because of the name that all I did was Greek wear. So in 2014, I rebranded the company. And so I tried to get True Blue Designs with the E, and it was taken. And so when I dropped the E, I was able to get the name. So that's what happened. But I'm gonna tell you something else that's so funny. When I give people the name of my company or my email address, they add the E.
I did that. And I was like, I cannot find her social media for nothing. I was like, where is she? And then when I saw the correct spelling, I was like, she one of them. My bad. Sorry. Might have judged you a little bit.
It was done because I had no other option because I wanted the E. So don't be mad.
I ain't gonna beat you up no more. I just had to address it because it was like the blue elephant in the room. You feel me? You know? So I couldn't keep looking at the screen and not say something. I just couldn't do
it. Well, you forgive me.
I forgive you.
Okay, thank you. So, do you have any children? Me and you were talking about this before the show. So you have children.
I have two children. I have a 16-year-old daughter and I have a 13-year-old son.
They're teens.
Yes, I do. I feel like I just got roommates. Nah, these ain't kids. And matter of fact, I feel like this day house. I just be here visiting. I stay gone so much. I come here and I gotta ask them, hey, where's such and such at? Where's I don't
Did I get any mail?
I don't know. It's in this house. These are my roommates. It's like college style now. I really do feel like I'm back in college now.
Oh my goodness.
I'm teaching my daughter how to drive.
Oh, how is that, Nicole? Because I could not do it with my children. I couldn't.
I've reached my limit. And over the last 2 years, I've gotten her to a great place. She's been on the highway. She's been on the roads. She's doing her thing, but I think she needs a little bit more help. But I reached my personal limit. So this weekend, she started her first 30 hours. I mean, her first class of her 30 hours of classroom time, and they're gonna take her out 6 hours on the road. I need somebody else to take over. You know, I just all this. When you can't receive criticism from me without an attitude, we don't need to be in this situation because I don't know how many times I can say, I said, in your 16 years, you've never been in a car with someone who didn't know how to drive. Like, you've always been in a car with an experienced driver. Yeah. So you don't know how it feels to be me with somebody I'm trusting with my life.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you ain't never been in a car worried about if the person could drive or not. Like, you ain't never had to worry about that. You just hopped your little self in the car and they just took you where you was going.
Ride. That's it. They just get in and ride. It's a totally different. I couldn't do it. We when my son graduated from high school.
Dang, that long?
Look, he's 28. Can you believe it? I got a 28 and a 20. They're 8 years apart. And
Oh,
when
wow.
and when Damon graduated from high school, he's got a group of godfathers. They pulled in money and got him driversed.com. That was the best gift that they could have got him.
What you
That's what they
mean
got.
.com?
Yeah, driversed.com. They'll bring somebody, they'll bring a car and a driver out, and it has 2 steering wheels in the car.
Oh, that's just the company name. Like it ain't all
yeah.
done. Okay, I was like, this joker done learned through a simulation how to drive for real. Because even that surprised me when they told me that my daughter, this is how the lady told me about the program, right? Because she said, so they got to take 30 hours of in-class time, and they're going to have 6 hours on the road, 2 hours a day. I said, oh, that sounds great. We can hook that up. And I thought 30 hours was excessive, but I was like, whatever. I said, what's the schedule? She said 2 weekends in a row, where it's 9:30 in the morning to 5:30 in the evening. I said, that's a full-time job. And so I asked the lady, I said, well, are y'all going to be providing any meals, any lunches or anything? This lady said, oh, she can eat whatever she wants. She's going to be at her home. This is on Zoom. I said, dang, y'all ain't even going to really put them in a classroom.
You said
for real?
Zoom?
My daughter going to be in her room this weekend and next weekend from 9:30 to 5:30 on a video chat thing for her driver's ed class. I was like, golly, that's...
So they don't take them out?
They do, but that's after she do these 30 hours of in class. But they ain't in class. She more in her room.
Right. Are
she gonna be distracted? I'm about to take her phone. I'm like, girl, pay attention. She likes to crochet. She gonna be knitted a whole blanket back there on this 8-hour shift. You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, because their attention span is short.
I need her to be in a classroom.
These kids today, their attention span is short. Very. Oh, so my
pray
goodness.
For me.
I will.
Pray for me.
I will. Everybody send up prayers for Nicole.
Please.
Girl, you got to. I love driversed.com. Look, I need to be a spokesperson for it.
I heard that.
There's no way I could have done it.
I heard that. Shoot, I'm ready for that phase.
So tell us, how did you choose the career of comedy?
Comedy chose me.
Really? Tell us the story.
Absolutely, comedy chose me. I have not chosen any career that has came to my life, I don't think, except for my first one. Now, I will say this. My background is in law enforcement.
Really?
I went to University of West Georgia for criminology, actually.
Really?
I did some internship at the Carrollton Sheriff Office when I was down there. And that was an interesting internship. I ended up in a back room somewhere converting their hard copies to electronic files of pedophiles and other creeps, having to read their sheets there every day. That was just too much to sit in that room, keep reading that stuff and looking at these people and inputting their information in the computer. I hated that internship. That right there drove me nuts. But then I was a Fulton County Sheriff officer. Yeah, here in Fulton County. I worked at the juvenile courthouse in Rice Street for a little while. And then, I've had every job you could think of because I like to change jobs for several reasons. One, I'm a fugitive. And she been looking for me. And I'll be damned if I pay them people back any student loans because I don't remember none of that shit. I don't even think I should have to give them any money back. Like, I mean, and then why should I, if anything, why should I give you back all the money?
Right.
I wasn't even an A student. I was like an average C student. I should be able to give you a percentage of the money back. Like, why are you? That's the main reason. They did find me one time and garnished my paycheck 15%, and then I had to quit that job. But that's, I was like, on to the next one. On to the next one. You laughing? I'm so for real. But
so you don't like Sally Mae?
I don't. I think she's all them times her and Capital One got me to sign up for cards when I was in school. Capital One got me for a 6-inch foot long from Subway and a t-shirt. Okay. You know how them doggone creditors used to be on the school
Yeah,
campuses
they
giving out
did.
free lunches and stuff and
They
a
did.
little mug or something cute.
Yeah.
I got my first little credit card to I wasn't gonna use it and I'm gonna throw it away. And man, I was like, who wanna go out? It's on me. I got a car with all that, man. I was balling in college for real.
So let me ask you this though. So when you when you were going to what's the word, Lord? I would laugh so hard. I left my train of thought. The criminal justice degree. When you was going to criminal justice.
Criminology.
Oh, criminology.
And I like to say it like that because it's a difference.
Okay.
People say criminal justice, but that's the practice of how to do law enforcement. Criminology is the study of crime and criminals. So it's more psychology based and sociology based.
What is crime scene investigation under that?
It's not. That's under how to do law enforcement. That's criminal justice.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
This is more criminology is more the study of the mind, the criminals. Why do you commit crimes? The study of history of gang, how they came about. And it was more about why people commit crimes to begin with, just studying it.
Well, that's like the show CSI.
Yeah, I guess all of it still they all have that psychological component to it that try to get into the minds of the criminal.
Yeah, I love those shows because you know, it's just amazing to me how they figure stuff out.
Right.
Okay,
so I was saying how I got into comedy.
Yes.
Just another thing that got thrown up. But back in 2013 or so, I was going through my divorce, and I fell in love with karaoke. And I was going to karaoke like every week on every Thursday at this one spot called the Hobnob in Alameda. Had my whole crew. We used to all meet up. I would sing out ad lib, get on the mic and be silly, crack jokes, just get everybody energy up. And after maybe about 2.5, 3 years of doing that, I had one of my friends who used to do karaoke. I didn't know he was a comedian. Patrick, he was like, "You are so funny. You ever thought about doing comedy?" And I was like, "Nah, I'll get out of here with that." Right. So he mentions it. But prior to that, I was walking around at the Berkeley Flea Market and I ran into another comedian that was promoting the show. His name Antoine. He was like, "Hey, we got to talk," and end up saying, "You ever thought about doing comedy?" And I was like, "No, whatever." And that's when Patrick said something a couple months later. I was like, "Why is everybody coming to me talking about doing some comedy?" Patrick said, "Come do my show." And it was at the Brainwash in San Francisco. And I used to be like, "I will, one day, I will." And I was going, through my divorce. And some weekends I had my kids. Some weekends, I didn't. And one weekend he called me one Thursday. He said, "Do you have your kids this weekend?" And I was like, "No, I don't." He was like, "Great. What you doing this weekend?" I was like, "Nothing." He was like, "Great. Come do my show on Sunday." I was like, oh, that's what we doing. Okay. And I just said, "I'll go for it." And I showed up at the Brainwash. It was February 15th, 2015. I remember it because it was just such one of those, what's about to happen. I didn't even know what I was going to do or say or nothing. I didn't know what to expect. But I walked in and it was like an open mic bar at a cafe / laundromat. It's a historical place in San Francisco. They used to do stand-up comedy at, right? And he told me, he's like, "I'm gonna give you 3 minutes." I was like, "All right, whatever." I walked around, I saw people with notepads and writing stuff down, and I was looking around. I was like, "Am I supposed to be doing something? Am I supposed to be writing something down?" Like, I was like, "Am I missing something?" Like, I don't know if I'm about to be doing this right, because in my mind, I just had planned to only talk about what happened that day. I was working at an after school program at that time. I was going to talk about the kids, the parents. I was I didn't know, I got up there after the 3 minutes, they was going crazy. They're laughing. And the guy after that, Tony Sparks, he was like, "Oh my God, I love your personality. I love you so much." He was like, "I want you on my show next week." I'm like, "What in the world?" And I swear it was a snowball effect of shows. And like when I went to Tony's show, Jay Rich, he's like, hey, come to my show. I go to his show, and his show is actually a competition of almost
Uh-oh.
20 people. And I didn't know I'm in here. He done enrolled me in a competition. And this is like my third time on the mic. And I was like, what in the world? I didn't even know it was a competition. I showed up. I'm ready, thinking it's a regular open mic like I had kind of been to. And a guy at the bar who was at my second show, he was like, hey, Blue, you ready for this competition? Competition? I said, where? He said, here. I was like, oh, I ain't signed up for no competition. But out of like 17 people, I believe it was, give or take one, I did come in third. You feel me? So
Hey, see?
I'm like, I might be doing something right. Yeah. Might be
Wow.
And
it seems like everybody has been supportive.
Very, very much. I realized I was probably my harshest critic to myself. I probably have told myself no way more than the world has ever told me no.
Oh, wow.
Like, I didn't grow up in no negative environment too much, you know what I'm saying? Other than the regular stuff that happened in, you know, around life. But I think if I would have told my family, friends, anybody, like, I want to be an astronaut, I'm sure they're going to be like, oh, Nicole, you're going to fly the hell out of that spaceship. Like, I've never really received the negative stuff other than what I told myself, nah, I can't do that. Nah, I ain't qualified. No, I ain't got this. You know, so I just had to really combat that within me and say, I can do it. Shoot.
Yeah, and then you start to think that, well, if all these people see this in me, you know, I got to get out of my own way.
That part.
You know, I picked up playing the bass guitar a couple of years ago. And you know, when my daughter graduated, it was like, okay, well, who is Tina? What do I want to do with Tina? You know, what I want to do in life. And so I bought a royal blue motorcycle. And I went to motorcycle lessons at Harley in Conyers. And then I bought I think like a month or two later, I bought a blue bass guitar. And so my kids had quote unquote intervention. So they wanted to know what was wrong with me, because they didn't know, you know, that, you know, I like these things. And I had to
be your own kids.
And I had to tell them, I asked them, I said, how old are you? And at the time, I said he was 25. And I said, for 25 years, my life has been about other people. And now my life is about me. And I'm trying to figure out who I am, because that has been intertwined with who you are. So I'm not going crazy and embrace yourself, because there may be some other stuff you see on social media. But I'm trying to figure out who I am. And so this past weekend, we had a jam session. And again, like you were saying, you know, you can be your worst critic. But everybody was so encouraging and saying that, you know, just keep practicing, just keep practicing. And then sometimes I get into my own head and say, you know, I'm not going to be as good as so-and-so, comparing myself to other people. So it's really good when you're around an encouraging environment, you know, because it makes you want to just keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
that's beautiful. I had bought myself a snare drum a couple years ago.
Did you?
I want to learn how to get into it because I was in the band, but I played the clarinet.
YouTube University.
Yeah, that's what I was using. But I didn't bring it back. I didn't bring it to Atlanta when I moved back here from California. So
yeah,
I probably have to be picking me up a drum soon.
It's very therapeutic.
It is.
It really is. It's
I love music.
Very therapeutic. Yeah. So how do you combat heckling from the audience? What do you do when that happens?
I don't really get too many hecklers.
Okay.
Because the way I talk is a commanding tone, and I project my voice a lot. So a lot of people is like, what is this yelling woman yelling about a lot of times? And two, if the people I've heard heckle or say something is in agreement to something I've said, like, I know that's right. Okay. You know, stuff like that. But I have gotten a few people, like recently, I was at a place about a week or so ago, and I had this one joke I do, and men tend to get in their feelings when I do it. And he got in his feelings and he was trying to combat me. And I was like, hey, listen here, sir, I got the mic. So you gonna shut the hell up tonight. You feel me? You gonna shut up tonight, sir. You're not finna overtalk me. That's what you're not finna do. I addressed them and I kept on moving on with my show.
Everybody laughed. Tell me they did.
They did. They did. They did very much so. Shoot. I have maybe it's that law enforcement background, military background. My dad, my ex-husband, I speak like this and I mean what I say what I mean. You feel me? So
right.
I shut it up and I shut them down. You know?
Right.
I was so nice, nasty about it that when I got off stage, he told me he was now a fan of mine and bought me and my friend a drink. Well, they got me my Shirley Temple, but he you sometimes put a joker in their place and they go stay in it. You just got to make you have clear boundaries.
Yeah,
stuff is don't heckle me. Y'all want this smoke?
Was nice. That was
y'all
nice.
Want this smoke? You gonna want to be my friend?
So where does your material, what does your ideas come from? Do you just, like you say, everyday life, things that happen to you or things that you see on television or the news? Where do you get your material from?
I try not to get a part of the loop.
Okay.
And to me, what I call the loop is a part of the people who just repeating what the news already said or repeating what they already done tweeted and I don't really do too much pop culture, any politics, any of the stuff that let me talk about Nicki Minaj, Kim Kardashian. I don't do none. I don't care about none of that. I don't want to get caught in the loop.
Okay.
I like to talk about regular, everyday Joe Schmo stuff. You know, I'm talking about how I look. My body has changed.
Yeah.
I was a fitness instructor in California for about 10 years. And my body didn't look like it do right now. Let's say that. You know, came back to the South, been eating good, you know. They got thick. They ain't worked out not one time, you know.
I call it COVID fluffy.
And you call it what you want to call it. I call it having a fupa, and I didn't have it before the pandemic. How about that? You know, I did not have this little thing on my lap, sitting in my lap. How I got a whole stomach in my lap? You know? In my lap, just in my lap. I wear my fanny pack 24/7, Tina, just to cover this little fupa. Okay. I stopped wearing Spanx and girdles because I couldn't breathe.
I know that's right.
I was like, hashtag I can't breathe.
Yeah. Hey, you telling the truth about that.
Hashtag got more than one meaning.
Yeah. Look, I started back working out yesterday. When I get off the show, I'm gonna have to do my 30 minutes again today.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I done ordered everything that you can to work out at home. Try. I ain't been too motivated. I got that little hula hoop thing with the little ball on it. You see on Instagram. I done bought the little body wraps, wrap myself up like a mummy. You know what I'm talking about? That 360 wrap, that big old long thing everybody got. I swear I done got everything off of TV. I still got an old school shake weight. You feel me? I got a shake weight. I do. That made me get up and look for it, but I got a shake weight somewhere around this house. I got a jump rope. I ain't even busted out the box yet. I got a lot of stuff.
We gotta do better, Nicole.
Yeah, I gotta do better.
We gotta do better.
But for some reason, they like this thickness though. So I ain't in no rush.
I
ain't in a rush.
So how did you meet Chris with the Greek comedy? How did you two meet?
I don't even know how we met. I don't know if he reached out. He might have reached out to me. Because I was in California, and it was right when he actually got started with the Greek comedy tour in Atlanta, 2016. And I had only been doing comedy for about a year. And I was a part of the inaugural show.
Okay.
His first show, and we was at the Atrium. And we had almost everybody. We had almost every D9 organization was represented except for maybe one.
You talking about the atrium off Memorial Drive?
Yes, ma'am. We were
That
there
was
for the
the
first show.
inaugural show. I didn't know that.
That was the very first show.
I remember. I didn't attend, but I remember that show because it was off the. Yeah.
Yep, that was the very first show. And
I did not know
Sarah,
that.
say that again.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that was the very first show. We had talked. He reached out to me prior to that time, shortly prior to that, and invited me to be a part of it. Came out. I had my Janet Jackson moment on that show. I had on a strapless one-piece jumpsuit.
Oh.
And I had this one joke I used to do where I was pulling stuff out of my bra. I went to pull this hairbrush out and the whole flap down. And I think my breast was on stage. And I hurried and folded that thing up like origami and stuffed it into my little bra. Let me tell you, oh my God. I swear.
That is amazing. I did not know that. Because AAKZ from Noonan, the Noonan chapter is the one that hosted that. I remember that. Yeah. That's a small world.
Yeah, that was the first show. We had so many people on there.
Well, Nicole, what makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? I think a lot of times I laugh just from seeing others laugh. I don't know why. That's something weird, ain't it? I like to hear comedians.
Contagious. Laughter is contagious.
Very much so. Even smiling is. And I like to say when you smile, I read that it fools the body into tricking that it feels good. You know, it releases endorphins in the body. So it make you almost fool yourself, you know, whatever. So I think like comedians or people who tell stories and they're laughing too. Oh my God. I'm think I'm laughing more at them laughing than what they talking about. I can't really say it's a specific thing that makes me laugh, but I definitely make myself laugh a lot. I have some thoughts I do about a lot of stuff, and I think it's real peculiar. And I'm like, ooh, let me keep that in my head. So the stuff I be thinking about a lot of times be making me laugh because I put such a spin on life anyways, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, laughter is the best medicine, you know.
I know.
And it's good when you can laugh at yourself.
Right on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, have you ever had any embarrassing moments while you were on stage? I know we had Steve Brown on, and he told us the story about the guy who jumped on stage to attack.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yes. You know, me and Steve and Chris was just together. We went to Mississippi recently.
Oh,
we were just
Mississippi.
Yeah, we were just out there for their state conference, the Signal State Conference.
Yeah.
But we was just talking about that incident. I swear we was. I met Steve's mom and saw her collard green garden. Yeah. So yeah, we talked about that. That was interesting for sure.
Very. I saw the video. It was very interesting. Have you ever had any embarrassing moments like that? Or not like that, but you know.
No. Well, I mean, the fact I told you my breast fell out on stage. You feel me?
You're doing good if that's the only one that you had.
I would say that was the only thing that probably embarrassed me, but maybe something that had me more like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of them moments where I'd be like, what the like, did that just happen? Like, did it? You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of those moments. Like recently, I was at a show. I made a comment and I told the Caucasian man, I said, you're safe. I don't want you. I like my meat cooked a little longer on the grill. You know what I'm saying? And so this man was sitting off in the corner and he had been yelling out throughout my set, like, yeah, I know that's right, saying stuff like that. And when he heard me say, I like my meat dark, left a little longer on the grill, hell, burn it. You know, I'm just rambling on. Yeah. He was like, oh, she gonna like this. I hear it, but I'm not looking. Right. I hear it. And I hear him, he's like, she gonna like this. He's like talking and he's making his way up to the front of the stage, right? And I'm like, what in the world going on? I'm still talking to the audience and I see kind of what's going on in my peripheral. I don't like to engage the audience or give anybody that my time. Okay, like this is my time. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't like to do that. But he making his way up to the stage. He's reaching across people to get to the front row.
Wow.
He made a comment that says, "Here, show her this." And so, of course, I can see this going on my peripheral. And I turn and I say, "Sir, what are you trying to show me?" Right? He had one of them old school throwback photo albums, like, you know what I'm saying, with the little cellophane pages in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was open, a double-sided picture, one picture over here of him built like muscular, naked, big old thing on the page. Out. I said, "Sir, why you got your penis out on the comedy show?" I said, he said, "Look out, I think you're gonna like this piece of meat." I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "This is not the time nor the place for you to be showing your penis while I'm on stage." I said, "Put that up." I said, "DM me later or something." Like, God, please, why would you bust through the crowd to show me your meat like that, sir? That's an unsolicited penis pic that I did not ask for. Nobody in here asked for that. It was scary. I was like, "Boy, you don't put that snake up." You know what I'm saying? I'm about to call what that man made it.
And I know the audience was hollering.
I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe that this man. But then I was like, why is he walking around with a photo album of himself naked like that? Or like
crazy.
that, muscle on top of muscle like that, like he was chiseled. Like he was looking.
No, let me ask you this. So in person, was he chiseled, or he was only chiseled in the picture?
I think he had it, but he had on one. He was one of the muscular dudes that had on a turtleneck. You know what I'm saying? All tight
so
shirt.
Couldn't see it. Yeah,
I could. It was dark too. Right. I didn't want to give him too much attention. No. And I left before the show ended because I did not want him to hunt me down. Because you asked about something crazy that happened on stage, but I'll tell you something crazy that happened after the show. Matter of fact, I was with Chris. Mm-hmm. And we was over here in Sandy Springs. Mm-hmm. Young man asked to take a picture with me after a show. I was like, cool. We out in the parking lot. Groups of people over here. Groups of people over here. Somebody's taking the picture. He wraps his arm around me. We take the picture. Once the picture is taken, he drops his arm, turn to me, and licks my face from my chin to my forehead. Like he licks me. And I'm like frozen and I'm stuck. And I was like, oh my God. Did you just lick me? And I was like petrified. I got loud and I was like, Chris, I started calling people. Why did you lick me, sir? He looked at me. He looked me dead in my eyes. He said, I've been wanting to do that ever since I started following you on Facebook.
Oh, no.
I said, what in the world? His tongue smelled like hot dog water. Like it was so damn disgusting. I made a whole video on Facebook about it. I did. I went.
Wow.
I was like,
did you find him so you can unfriend him, block him?
I know exactly who he is to this day. He called himself a comedian, but I ain't never seen him on stage. Let's say that. Okay. I said what I had to say, but I don't think he want to get on my bad side because I will put him on Front Street. But I know exactly who it is.
You got law enforcement skills. You don't want to test that.
I ain't a killer, but don't push me out there, boy. He got it that night. Why would you lick me?
That's not wrapped too tight. So let me ask you this. So is there any topic that you just will not joke about?
Well, right now in my life, I don't talk about my ex-husband. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give him none of my time, whether it's funny or not.
Right.
How about it? That's probably about the most I don't talk about these. Nah, my kids, I keep them general. Yeah. I don't like to do nothing personal. Mm-hmm. Even though they know I'm crazy and I talk a lot of shit anyway, but just out of courtesy to my children, I don't really like to do nothing personal too much to them. I might say something general that they said or a question they came with or whatever, but I don't like to do that. As a matter of fact, I kind of keep my family maybe like that in a bubble. Mm-hmm. Where I might do some general jokes about them, but I haven't done anything specific per se.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know sometimes politics and religion.
Yeah, I already said I don't talk about that no way. That's a part of that loop. that we
Yeah,
talked
that
about.
loop. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
don't like none of that stuff that's looped over and over. I'm not about to be a part of programming
Yeah.
and getting people getting up and up. I like to try to
Yeah.
take you away, even
Mm-hmm.
if it's for just a brief moment in time, to just laugh at something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And although they do make jokes about the politics, religion, stuff like that, it's other things that really take you away from all of that you can
Mm-hmm.
still laugh at. General
Right.
stuff,
Right.
relationship stuff or kids or just whatever.
Yeah.
But so I
Yeah.
try to focus on that stuff.
There's a lot of material out there, and you don't have to go
Absolutely.
down the road that's frequently followed. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get
Absolutely.
it. I get it. So, what would you say is the worst thing about your profession, comedy? And then we're gonna say what is one good thing about comedy or being a comedian or being a comedian.
Right now, maybe the worst thing is the pay. These jokers, my rate done went up, so I need some more coins. But
and then when you do virtual, it goes down, I'm sure.
it does. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's so many people that be like that just book the shows and they stack it, so many people and stuff. It's like if you do less people, we can get paid
More
a little
money.
bit more. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I'm not booked on enough shows right now. Or maybe I ain't in that place in my career where I'm getting the money I want. Let's just say that. Okay. But it is what it is. It comes with the territory. You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to walk before you got to crawl before you walk.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's
Absolutely.
one good thing you like about it?
Laughing. I laugh all day.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you talk to anybody that know me. You ain't gonna be around me and not laugh. Like how I'm talking right now is who I am. At work, at home. I lived a big part of my life with doing that people pleasing. I got married at 21. I lived my whole 20s being a housewife and military spouse and doing that serious stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then when I broke free at, that 30 or whatever, I really broke free. Like you said, like you finding yourself and doing your things. And I've been finding myself doing my things, and I just really enjoy laughing. Period.
Yeah.
Now I'm one of them any means necessary comedians. Like I'm come out off the stage and reach out and touch somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna tickle you if I need to, but you gonna laugh tonight,
Yeah, it's refreshing. If someone is having a hard day or going through challenges in life and they come to a show like yours, like you said, just for if your set is 30 minutes, if your set is 45 minutes, right? For that 45 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, they can put that aside.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And just unwind. And like you said,
right.
You be free for that,
I feel like my job is to create change in the atmosphere or wherever I'm at. I don't like feeling no heavy frequency. I don't like feeling heavy. I like to feel light and free flowing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if I walk in on you, you got the sad face or you smell some stink or whatever, going on in your mind. Hey, what can I do? What can I do? Yeah. We finna laugh right now. You need to snap up out of that. If you want to go back to being sad when I'm gone, that's your business. But we're not finna do that right now. No, we not. That's how I get on stage. That's why I enjoy hosting. Because as a host, I get up in between other people and keep the energy up. You know what I'm saying? If a comedian come and they happen to bring the energy down, it's my job to bring it right back up, And I think the experience I carry from being a fitness instructor for almost 10 years or whatever, I taught Zumba, hip hop, boot camps, core classes, cycling classes. I did line dance class. I did everything, but to be in front of a mass group of people for those many years where I'm like, come on now, you can do it. Push it, baby.
It just transferred right over into comedy.
For real. That was me for like a lot of years. Everybody see me, they were like, oh my God, that's my fitness instructor. And I'm like, hey girl, how you doing? See you at the gym on Friday. That was me. So it don't matter if I was on the bike, on the mat, or if I was dancing. I'm a ball of energy, and I'm like one of them little kids where you got to let them go run around so that they can wind down at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if I don't exert enough energy, I'm up all night. I got insomnia. I can't sleep. I'm on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Trying to learn the dances and stuff. You know, so I gotta exert, and when I get on that stage, it's another form of exerting that energy and just releasing it. You know, so I love it.
Yeah, we got somebody. We got Wanda that said, "Hey, Nicole."
Hey, Wanda in the house.
Yeah,
That's actually. You
tell
want to know who Wanda
everybody.
is?
I was trying to find the other. Here it is. To put their questions and comments, and so we can get them answered. If you have any questions for Nicole, put your questions out there and or comments, and we'll make sure that we get them answered and show them to Nicole throughout the show.
Right on.
Okay, so let me say this, because one thing that I've noticed about you is you're quick on your feet. And a lot of the comedians that I've talked to, that's one thing they have. You're quick on your feet. If there was someone that wasn't that quick and they wanted to go into comedy, do you feel that could they still be successful?
I think there's a niche for everybody, because the fact that I move like this, everybody don't, but that style isn't also received well for a lot of people.
Okay.
I have people who's like, oh my God, it's just maybe she's a bit much, or she's a little loud, or she's just whatever. I'm not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And whoever it is, because I watch comedians who are a little more docile, and they get on stage and they talk like this, and they get they laughs. And I'd be like, maybe I need to calm down and talk like this too. And
that's not you.
Shit, that ain't even in me. I don't even have an inside voice. You feel me? I'm in my house right now, and this is how I talk all the time.
Oh my goodness! But
I don't even know how to whisper.
But you know what, Nicole? That goes back to going down the road that's frequently traveled, right? Because you have to carve out a niche for yourself, right? And you have to be Nicole. So what makes Nicole's comedy so great is because we get the authentic Nicole.
Absolutely.
Right? Not Nicole trying to be somebody else. Right. So that's not going to work, because this is not you.
It ain't. I can't even if I tried. I can't. Let me tell you, I was a part of an improv troupe back in the day, and it was so funny because the improv coach, she had this scene set up where you're supposed to take a certain emotion and deliver a different character for each emotion, right? That lady pulled me out to the side. She was like, so Nicole, I understand that you're real happy, go lucky, you're really, up here, but not every emotion requires you to be up here. Like, you got to bring it down just a little bit for this particular emotion, and you got to try to meet it at this place. She's trying to tell me. I said, I'm sorry, I don't even know how to be nobody but me. Like, I can show you these emotions, but it's gonna be shown the way I talk. Like this.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I can't be nobody but me. You gonna love it or you gonna love it. How about it?
Right. I'm gonna ask you this. A while back, J. Anthony Brown's mother had passed away, and I'm sure you probably remember. This was some years back. And so they had announced it on Tom Joyner. And then he was out a couple of days, and then he came back. And so Tom asked him, well, how you doing? How you doing? How you and the family doing? And his response was, Tom, I haven't seen this many breasts in my life. Because he was talking about how everybody all the females wanted to come up to him, and they had big breasts, and they were like putting his head, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that because I want to ask, how much, when you go through things in life, right? Because we talked earlier about you're human. And so when you go through things in life, how much do you lean on comedy? Just everyday things just to get you through. Because that's what he was talking about. He was saying that when he goes through things, it's comedy That
Absolutely.
the fact that he can find humor in situations. And one lady had called in, and she was saying that he was very disrespectful to his mother and her passing, because she, he was, finding light in the situation.
Dang, she wouldn't like me then.
And he went off. And
Right.
he was saying that, with comedians, that's how they get through situations. Is comedy. Is trying to find, the little light. So he was like, in no way am I, you know, uh, speaking bad about my mom's,
Right.
passing. I'm hurting. But
Right.
this is how I get through the
Absolutely.
pain. Is
Absolutely.
through comedy. So I was going to ask you, because I think that just came in my mind, and I was going to ask you, how much of that do you lean on that to get through?
100%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this because I've been doing it well before I was coined the label a comedian. You know what I'm saying? I battled with wanting people to take me more seriously in my life, period. But people tell me stuff like, "You're so animated. It's how you say it. It's just like I'm telling somebody something and they'll be laughing. And I'm like, but I'm for real. And they'll be like, oh my God, you're so funny. And I'm like, I'm trying to be for real.
Yeah.
And I remember even as a teen and stuff, I used to cry and be like, why do you people don't take me seriously?
Wow.
And I don't know why, but I've always had a lighthearted, light note take and tone on life. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing really just is that serious to me. It
Right.
really ain't. It's hard to get me really bent out of shape. It's only one subject that really just gets me bent out of shape. And I already told you we weren't giving no more time to that.
Right.
But
right. I got you. I got you.
okay. But other than that, raising kids and stuff like that, I probably laugh at most stuff than they do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, oh, that happened. Okay, whatever. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like to linger on my problems or give too much attention to something I don't have control over. I'm guided by the serenity prayer, I live according to that, to believe the focus, give my energy towards the things I can control. I can't control other people. So I'm not going to be trying to put my energy, efforts into those thoughts and what ifs and shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I've done that before.
Right.
So the Nicole that you meet today, I've done that. I lived that life. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that no more. I try to live focusing on today. Because I used to future trip too much.
Yeah.
I used to think about the past too much, but I try to live now today. Okay.
Yeah.
And just the way that I've guided my life is different now. It's a lot different. It's more free flowing. It's like I'm more of a go with the flow, you know what I'm saying? And try to make the best out of every situation that I get. But I'm not gonna linger in nothing that don't serve me, and negative feelings. And I don't like how it makes my body physically feel. So I'm not gonna stay in it. I will address it. And if I feel sad or I want to cry, I will cry in that moment.
Right.
After that cry is out. All right. Did you see that? Oh my God, what they got on? I'm sorry. I moved on to the next thing.
Keep it moving. Yeah, and you got to change your perspective.
Absolutely.
You got to change your perspective, because I was telling somebody that it's all about how you see it. That you remember the saying, you can either see the glass half full or you can see the glass half empty. But either way you choose to see it, that's your choice.
Absolutely.
Right. That's your choice. And that's something that you can do something about. Right. You don't have to call anybody up to say, which way should I see it? That's your choice.
Absolutely.
Right. And so you just choose through your
to be optimistic.
Through the things that you've gone on in your life. And I'm with you. I'm with you. That negative energy is draining.
Absolutely. Anybody know that they call me, I'm going to hype you up. I'm your biggest fan. I'm your cheerleader. You're going to get through it, whatever it is. I don't care how big you think it is, because a lot of times we look back on things that we thought was going to kill us. And you be like, oh my God, really? I really made it through that. You know what I'm saying? And this too shall pass. So why am I going to linger in it? Not going to do it.
That's true. So let me ask you one last question, because we're almost at the end of the show.
Okay.
2 things. What advice would you give someone that is thinking about going into the field of comedy?
have fun, walk in your truth. Can't nobody do you better than you can do you. And like you said earlier, it's not a matter of getting on stage trying to be nobody else. You know, we already got a Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? We already got a Dave Chappelle. You know, be you. Who are you? You know, so I'm trying to be Nicole Blue. Be whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? I be hearing comedians saying, "Oh, I gotta go and write this joke and create this." It ain't that much creating you to do if you just take a look around you.
Right.
It's already been created for you. It's just a matter of us remembering it.
Right.
Because so much crazy stuff and funny stuff that I've witnessed, it's a matter of me jotting it down to remember it. Because I know my memory. I remember gone, you know, a long time ago, you know.
I call them senior moments.
Hey, I don't know what it is, but it's gone. Yeah. But have fun.
Yeah.
I think if you're having fun, the audience gonna have fun. Yeah. And if anything, I think people enjoy my shows and come to see me because I'm gonna have fun. I don't care. We're gonna turn up.
Well, I thank you so much for saying yes and allowing me to interview you. And one thing I can say about comedy, and we talked about this before, it's therapeutic. So
Absolutely.
if you're going through something and you just need to woosah and unwind, we're going to look up Nicole Blue. And we're going to find out where she is at next. Yes. Even if she's at doing something online, and we're going to allow her to speak to us and get us to laugh and understand that what you say, this too shall pass.
Absolutely. How about it?
Now you stay on. Look, you stay on, and I'm going to end the show. Everybody, thank you so much for celebrating 13 years of being in business with us. Please be back same time, same place. Next week, we have another comedian coming on for our celebration. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You got to tune in to find out who it is. I am Tina Dawson, the owner of True Blue Designs and the host of tonight's show. And I thank you so much for allowing me to serve you over the years and just being a customer, a client, a loyal friend, and a confidant. I just really appreciate everybody that has really poured into the company in the last 13 years. So we're going to sign off tonight. I see you next Wednesday, same time, same place. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Wow.